It is Addie Warzala joining us from Champion. Addie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. So, first question, and this is for my sanity for broadcasting games, and I've heard your last name pronounced two different ways, and I want to make sure I'm getting it right. So, Warzala or Warzala? Which one is it? Because I've heard it pronounced both.
Warzala.
Warzala. Okay, see,
Yep.
that's live on the show. You heard it here. It is Warzala, and we are going to stick with that for the rest of your career here at YSN. So thank you so much again for taking the time to join us. What we want to talk about today is just your career. Obviously, you came on the scene last year as a freshman and did a lot of really great things, and it kind of made a name for yourself here at YSN and on this champion program. And what I love asking freshmen to come into this program, especially your program at Champion, is what it's like to kind of put on that uniform. I'm sure you've been looking forward to it for a while. A lot of softball players want to play for this champion team that has won 6 state championships in their career. What was it like to put that uniform on last year and to kind of finally have this dream come true of being a varsity member of this champion softball team?
A lot of us grew up watching those girls play in the state games and watching them play for champion, and we just all kind of knew that we wanted to be there and we wanted to put on that uniform and wear that name across our chest. So
Now that we're venturing after your freshman year and into your next year, what were some of the things that you think you really developed on in the off season and at the end of last year to kind of carry into year two and stay away from that dreaded sophomore slump that you always see sometimes in players?
with Coach Weaver, we do a lot of hitting and we focus a lot on our mechanics and fundamentals. We also focus a lot on our mental health and just making sure that we're all okay and that we're all working together as a team. So really in the off season, we do a lot of hitting, a lot of defense just to keep us prepared.
And you obviously take a lot of pride in your defense as a catcher. I've said it many times on this show. I think you're one of the best defensive catchers this area has to offer. What kind of work have you put into your work as a catcher of the backstop and being able to be just a brick wall back there and a cannon to throw out runners?
I think for me, really, it's about learning your pitchers, learning what they throw, what's their best pitch, and just really figuring them out. So taking a lot of BP with them, I think, is really important to like have that good connection and being able to know what they throw and just how to really catch them.
I want to talk about that because last year you expected to come in with different pitchers than you had. The injuries kind of made this pitching staff a little bit different than you thought it would be last year. You were able to navigate that. What was that like trying to learn these pitchers and trying to make the pitchers that had to step up in different roles as confident as possible in their own ability last year?
Last year we faced a lot of adversity with injuries, and with Abigail being out at the end of the season, Morgan stepped up and she did a fantastic job. She did more than we could ask for. And really, I just caught her a little bit in BP in practice, and we kind of just gelled forward from there.
And now you get your first season catching Gabby. She was hurt last year as well. Obviously, that was probably something that you guys were looking forward to, even coming into freshman year, being able to be a battery and being able to play together. What's it like now getting to see her shine on the varsity level for the first time? First career game, all she did was, strike out 15 people and throw a no-hitter. What's it like catching her behind the plate?
I was really bummed last year to see her get hurt and go out, but I'm nothing but happy for her. She's done an amazing job, and I know she will continue to shine through this champion team. So I'm really excited to see what comes for us.
What are some of the best things about being able to be her catcher and being able to work with her as much as you do?
We have such a great friendship outside of softball that I think that kind of flows onto the field. And I've been playing with her my whole life. I played against her, I played with her, and just being together is honestly amazing.
And as a catcher, you said it before too. You have to build a relationship with these pitchers and kind of know them inside and out. What's that been like trying to just make yourself available to learn as much as possible about these pitchers' personalities, being able to realize when they're struggling so you can go out there and talk with them and those kind of things?
Yeah, it really just comes down to getting to know them and getting to know what kind of pitches they like to throw to certain batters and knowing your batters too. You just really have to analyze everything in the game.
We've heard that you have a tendency to call your own pitches as well. I mean, you're calling these games, which is so impressive from a catcher at your level. When did that kind of start? When did you kind of get into the IQ of softball enough to call your own pitches and call a game from the pitch count?
So recently our assistant Coach Carp was out for a little bit with sickness and work. So Coach Weaver kind of came to me and Gabby and said, I trust you guys. I trust you, Addie. I trust that you know each other and you know Gabby's pitches. And she kind of just trusted us with it. And I think we've done a pretty good job.
What was that like for you? I mean, this is a legendary coach in Cheryl Weaver to come up to you and say, "We trust you enough that we're going to give you control of calling the pitches, and you're kind of going to be in charge of not just knowing what Gabby's doing, but also knowing what the hitters like to do, what the swings are looking like, and how to attack these opposing hitters." What was that like for you to know that Cheryl Weaver trusts you to do that?
It was amazing. I mean, of course, it's stressful and it comes with pressure, but I think having pressure is good, especially when it's positive pressure. You want to be in those situations where you're on the line, you're calling the game. So I'm honestly just very thankful for the opportunity.
You talk about pressure. This champion schedule is always just so good because everyone wants to play champion. So you get a lot of teams that kind of come from the Akron and Maslin area that just want to play you guys because of the pedigree the champion has, which means you have a lot of close games against a lot of good teams, and they either go your way or sometimes they don't. What's it like being in so many close games and so many high pressure situations?
Talking about that pressure, I think Coach Weaver does a great job of making sure that we're mentally okay and that she knows what we're worth and we know what we're worth. So we're really just playing for each other and playing for that name across our chest. So it's fun, but there's stressful times.
We were talking about the game on Sunday before you came on against Canfield. You know, that was one of the ones against a good team that did not go your way, but you put a lot of pressure on the defense and you were able to get a lot of hits and do a lot of good things in that game. What were some of the messages after that loss from Coach Weaver to kind of keep you guys motivated and keep you guys confident?
She really just said at the end of the day, I mean, a 2-0 ball game is still a great game. Canfield's a good team, and we hung with them. It's early in the season, and we still have a lot more to come for us.
You know, I want to take back also as while we're talking about games, the first game of the season against Newton Falls, you and Gabby and Bella go back to back to back with home runs to lead off that lineup. What was that moment like to kind of go after Gabby and then have Bella come after you and just go a three-peat with home runs?
I mean, honestly, just felt like a reward to us, like finally seeing Gabby's first varsity game, our first varsity game together, just seeing all that hard work and dedication finally like pay off, and we get that moment together.
You know, we followed you guys in basketball, and Abigail Metters was the only senior on that basketball team. But you have a couple of more seniors on this champion softball team that are able to be senior leaders to you guys and to kind of show the younger players how to be leaders. How much has that meant to you on the softball team to have some upperclassmen that are able to kind of guide your way and show you how to be leaders, maybe off the field as well as on the field?
Our upperclassmen are great. They're nothing but positive and just happy to be there, and they're honestly happy to help anyone. We really take our underclassmen and we help develop them, and they're just great all around.
So obviously you've already accomplished a lot and in your high school career. But great athletes always raising the bar. So what's the next bar for you? What's the next goal that you want to accomplish as a softball player here at Champion?
For me, I think it's just making sure everyone on the team stays on the same page, stays focused, and I want us all to have that like emotion and great attitude during the games to really keep us all together.
And we just talked about senior leaders, but as a catcher, you have to be a leader on the field as well. I mean, there's no way around it. How have you developed your leadership qualities and you're confident to speak up and like you said, get the team on the same page when that needs to be done?
I honestly think it just comes with experience and playing. Even on my travel teams, like I've always been pushed to be that leader and be loud and vocal. And after a while, you just start to realize that you care about yourself. You have to put yourself out there, and no one else really cares what you're doing. They're not going to judge you. You just have to be who you are.
Let's get to know you a little bit more off the field or on the field, I guess. The first question is the superstitions. Every softball player has a couple of superstitions here and there. Do you have any that kind of stick in your brain?
I don't really have any superstitions, but I do always tend to wear my hair the same. I usually do like bubble braids or just a normal braid, but yeah, it's usually just my hair.
Or maybe if you don't have any, I'm sure some of your teammates do. Are there any like teammates that try to hold you to their superstitions? Like, hey, we have to wear this, or maybe like we have to be this way. Are there any teammates that have big superstitions?
Bella Meyer, all throughout basketball, she used to get Chick-fil-A before every game, and I don't know, that used to just be a big thing with her. I don't know if she still does it, but I do remember her always getting Chick-fil-A before a game.
I remember her basketball interview. She definitely had a lot of things that she had to keep in a routine, which is, like I said, typical softball players out there. Now, obviously, you're a student athlete at Champion. Student always comes first in that phrase for a reason. What kind of things are you enjoying studying right now and enjoying to learn about in the school side?
I usually struggle with math, but this year I've actually done really well in algebra 2. So I'm really excited about that and I'm just proud of myself.
Struggling in math and being able to do well this year, do you think that's because you've just, is it working harder at math? Is it the teachers that have kind of clicked in your brain and let you learn in a different way? What do you think has contributed to, algebra 2 being not as strugglesome as some other math classes that you've had before?
The teachers here are all great, but I think it really just everything all together, things have just been a little easier this year for me in math. My teacher is great, Miss Majosis, but I think it comes with that less stress, just not putting so much pressure on yourself and realize at the end of the day it will be okay.
They always say that sophomore year can be one of the toughest ones educationally because freshman year you're getting used to it, but sophomore year is when they hit you hard. Have you kind of felt that as sophomore year kind of one of the harder academic years that you've had so far?
Yeah, it's definitely a little more challenging, but like I said, you just have to realize that it will all be okay, and just having that kind of patience and believing in yourself always works at the end of the day.
You play a lot of softball to go along with the hard work that you do in the classroom, and you're always keeping yourself busy. You're a multiple sport athlete as well. How do you balance everything? I mean, how do you keep up with the sports, the schoolwork, and then trying to keep somewhat of a social life with your friends? How do you kind of balance all the stuff that you have to do?
It really just comes with a lot of patience and determination, and you just have to stay focused and not let your mind shift off to other places, and just really just staying locked in.
What's your favorite thing about being an athlete at Champion? Obviously, the community supports you guys so well, and there's a high excellence of success, not just on the softball team, but in every sport you play. And it seems like every sport that everyone plays at Champion, there's just this expectation to succeed. What's your favorite part about being a part of that athletics community the Flashes have?
Honestly, playing with everyone is great, but I felt like this year, more than any year, our community has really been behind us and pushing us and just letting us know that they're there for us. So.
What's that like in a home game? Obviously, you have a lot of big moments at home at Champion, and you get to hear a lot more of your fans and maybe your student body kind of back you and support you in the big moments that you're able to have on the field.
Oh, it's great. I love playing at home. I love our field. I just love being able to look out and see everyone there, knowing they're supporting us and always for us.
One of the great things about this sport is every kind of field has its own sense of uniqueness and the thing that makes players feel like it's home. What makes Champion and that field that you play on feel like home to you?
I think also knowing that the signs we have around of like 9 times state championships and just knowing that that's what we're working for and we can get there and there's that legacy behind us that we got to keep that reputation up.
All right. So, like I said before, you do keep yourself busy with sports, multiple sport athlete. You play a lot of softball, even in the summer. What do you do to get away from it and the times that you need a break, the mental breaks that you have to take to not gas out? What kind of things do you do outside of the sports to kind of, keep your mind at rest?
I think it really comes with a lot of communication and knowing yourself and your body. I communicate a lot with my parents. I let them know whenever something's going on because I feel that you can't keep that stuff inside and it needs to be shared and you need to talk to somebody about stuff. So I really get about a month break after August from travel ball and I take that time to really reset and just refocus back with my family and friends. So.
What are in that reset? Like everyone has a different way to mentally reset. Some people like to kind of be the lazy person for the month. Some people like to maybe exercise in a different way. What kind of things do you do to reset yourself and get ready for the long journey that awaits after that month off?
I usually take about 2 to 3 weeks off completely, like, no working out or anything, but then after that 3rd week, I really just get right back into it, whether it's hitting with my dad, throwing with him, or just catching Gabby, just you start to ease back into it.
All right, before we let you go, I want to know what's your favorite post game meal after a big win on the softball diamond.
A lot of the times after we play at home and we win, we go to the Mexican restaurant,
Mm.
in Champion, so that's a big fan favorite.
Well, if you go Oppo Taco, you got to get a taco after the game, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
just it's part of the game. Addie, I want to give you the time to shout out your support system, all the people that are there for you, and all the people that have been there for you throughout your career before we let you go.
Yeah, I just wanna thank my parents, my friends, family, my team really, my coaches, they've just been such a great support, and so is our community.
All right, Addie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today from Champion High School. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. We can't wait to keep watching you, and we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you.